This is the tale of how the smallest bird in the world outsmarted the rest, and how cleverness once flew higher than might ever could. Long, long ago, where time was marked only by the circling of the sun, in lands very similar to those known by you and I, a song began to ripple across the earth. It started with the beat of the hummingbird's wings, a rhythm so quiet it was almost inaudible to the human ear, but then a dove, with voice as pure as the white of her feathers, so soft and gentle, began to coo. And the pigeons answered, "We hear your calling, we hear your calling, we hear." And soon all the birds of the lands near and far began to sing. "It's time," they chorused, "to crown a king." Who, cried the owl, "shall be our king? We must call a great gathering." And so they did. The trees swayed to the sound. The fish leapt from the rivers in time with the beat. The lions on the plains tapped their paws. Even the elephants waved their trunks to the rhythm of this joyous melody, and creatures all over the world felt their worries lifted onto the breeze, their burdens carried far away. From the mountains where the condors soar to the jungles where the tigers roar, from the misty marshes damp and cold to the desert plains with sands of gold, the birds came. They came from near, they came from far, and as the birds took flight, they flew by day, they flew by night. And one by one, flock by flock, the great murmuration landed upon Sacred Mountain, a mountain so ancient it knew all the great beasts that once roamed the earth. All the birds had ever known was freedom. No one ruled over the skies where they flapped and soared and freely called, and yet they all agreed that the world would be a better place with a leader, one with wisdom, knowledge and strength, as well as the sky beneath their wings. As the great owl stood before them with outstretched wings, the birds began to quiet until the very last chirp ceased. Great Owl was the oldest and wisest of all. His speckled feathers reflected the stars in the sky. His eyes glowed with a knowing gleamed from the turning of the ages. He broke the silence. "He who wishes to be king of the birds must show themselves worthy by completing this quest. You must prove that you are the closest to the gods by flying the highest, and as such you shall claim the crown." A ripple of gasps arose from the assembly. The mighty birds puffed out their chests and outstretched their wings with pride. All the small ones, well, almost all, trembled in silence. The eagle in all his gold magnificence stepped forward, his eyes sparkling with the fire of the sun. "I," he announced, "was born to touch the heavens. There is no wing that can beat further, no beak that can reach higher than mine." A low hum broke out as the birds agreed. Surely the eagle will win the crown. In the midst of the gathering, unseen by most, there stood quietly was a teeny tiny wren, a round ball of a bird with very short wings and a short upright tail. His feathers of cinnamon brown were striped and speckled like sand, and his pale eyebrows were raised above eyes that twinkled with mischief. The wren remained silent whilst his heart beat with excitement. When the time came, all the birds that vied for the crown took flight, their wings blotting out the sky in a flurry of colour. Higher and higher they flew until one by one they grew breathless and tiredness crept into their weary bones. The time eventually came for each of them to yield. Only the magnificent eagle remained, piercing effortlessly through the sky like a golden arrow shot from the bow. At the very peak of his flight, where the air was thin and the silence only broken by his beating wings, the eagle called down, "Look, I am the highest, I am the king." No sooner than he had finished his last word, whoosh! From between the eagle's powerful shoulders, a tiny ball-like shape burst forth. Have you guessed who it was? Yes, the wren. Hidden amongst the eagle's feathers, weightless, soundless, and as cunning as a fox, he bellowed for all to hear, "Nay, I am the king," as he soared a feather's length above the astonished eagle's head. Laughter came from the heavens, the stars winked and the moon grinned. Eventually, the triumphant wren and the indignant eagle landed back on Sacred Mountain, but the flock were not happy. "He cheated," some cried. "He used trickery," murmured others. "He has conned us," some squawked. The great owl raised himself up and outstretched his wings to silence the chatter. "It is true," the owl said, "that he did not reach the greatest height through his own strength. It is also true that a king cannot win a battle using only his own strength either. It does appear that the wren has tricked us. However, he has shown us that he is capable of using clever strategy. And does that not take wisdom, knowledge, and experience to achieve? Who here would agree? Who?" The birds, deep in thought, began to nod in agreement, and the wind carried their whispered acceptance across the land. And so it was that the wren, smallest of them all, was crowned king of the birds, not for power, but for cleverness, not for might, but for mind. To this day, when a wren sings loudly in the thicket, even eagles pause to listen, for in that tiny heart beats the memory of one who does not rule by force, but through wisdom and courage, and the knowledge that even the smallest creature may touch the stars.